Trial Chamber 5A of the ICC decided with majority to terminate the case against Deputy President William Ruto and journalist Joshua Sang. The judges declared a mistrial. Also, President Uhuru Kenyatta says that Kenya will push with withdrawal from the Rome Statute. And what are the implications if this does actually happen? Also, in today's program, differences between Ford Kenya and ODM that saw violence during Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula's presidential bid launch sparked speculation of a possible fallout in court. Is there likely to be a fallout in court? This and much more in today's program. This is Politically Correct, and my name is Leangari. Welcome, and with me in studio today is political analyst Onyango Ochieng. Thank you so much for coming. It's good to see you again in studio.
Thank you.
You look like you're having a good morning.
Definitely.
Well, Onyango, I want us to delve fast into the issues of ICC. And I think the first question to ask is, what does it mean to have a no case to answer for the Deputy President William Ruto and journalist Joshua Sang?
I think before that, let me just have a brief something to say, something small to say before. First of all, I'm very happy with the anti-corruption investigation arm and the tax authorities in Argentina. They're now investigating the president after his name appeared in the Panama Fonseca document leaks. That is a very, very good show. Another one, I'm very much disturbed by the development in Fallujah. Fallujah is a town 30 kilometers out of Baghdad. Mm-hmm. Life is so hard there under ISIS that people are today boiling the soup of grass. People slashing grass, cooking with soup and giving the children to drink. Mm-hmm. That is how dire it is. And I was urging the United Nations and the United States of America together with the EU to do something to that extent. Now back to your question on the issue of no case to answer. Criminal cases are very, very difficult. The evidential threshold is so high. So basically, what they meant with no case to answer is that the evidential merit, the strength of evidence was too weak to sustain a case. And in this case, the evidential, the weight of evidence was so weak. It was so weak now that they relied on third parties and even the whole organizational framework that, for something to constitute a crime against humanity, it means that it has its own standards. It has to have a financer, it has to have an organizational policy or framework. Now, the moment they took away Ali, they said Ali supplied the arms, Koski supplied the money and all that, the whole theory of organizational framework collapsed. Because you could not tell me that if Sang did the broadcasting and William Ruto probably did the arming of the guys, who probably gave the money? Trust me, Kenya doesn't manufacture arms to that extent that can constitute crimes against humanity.
When we talk about the fact that the evidential framework was weak, what do we mean by this?
What we mean is that the weight of evidence required to sustain a criminal case of international nature goes so high. Here we are now no longer talking about balance of probability. We're no longer now talking about what if, what else. We are now talking here about beyond reasonable doubt. And if you read the working report, actually on page 17, paragraph 2, he talks about the quality of evidence they collected do not meet the minimum threshold of beyond reasonable doubt. That is page 17 of the working report, paragraph 2. It is paragraph 2, where he says that the evidence they collected do not meet the minimum threshold of beyond reasonable doubt required in any criminal case. And that is why they recommended for further investigations. Unfortunately, when they did that, ICC did not do that. Ocampo just came here to see lions, and that is where he lost it. Bensouda just came here to interact with IDPs. Unless ICC establishes an investigative arm, they're going nowhere. And this is not the first time. Remember the case of Thomas Lubanga? It was also the same. The case of Abu Garda was also the same. In fact, Abu Garda, the Sudanese guy, was the first person actually to defeat ICC in ICC. He won and he was paid a lot of money. He was a Sudanese warlord from somewhere in Darfur or somewhere thereabout. Yeah.
What type of evidence was available to the ICC?
It was so shoddy. It was so sham. In fact, when the little that I saw, or the little that I heard, or what I heard in the pre-trial press conference, to me, even a freshman in a law school, I'm talking about a freshman, someone who just reported like yesterday and he's been in a law school for like, say, 6 months, could not have paraded that kind of evidence. It was so weak. It was so weak even before a court of public opinion, even before a court of elders, where now they're now asking funny questions like, were you there? that kind of evidence was so low. It was terribly low. I think what Ocampo and co were doing is what I call fishing expedition. They were trying their luck, and it's unfortunate that they were trying their luck on people's graves.
So can we blame Moreno Ocampo for the bungled PEV, post-election violence rather, probe that seems to have failed?
I don't want to make it appear like I'm celebrating William Ruto. Neither do I want it to appear like I want to rankle or to annoy or to arc these people who died. Actually, my neighbor died in Kisumu. The guy was shot. The thing is this. I think Moreno Ocampo wanted to justify his lack of performance, right? His lackluster of performance as a chief prosecutor. Remember Moreno Ocampo was coming from, was it Argentina? Where he had actually led a bloodless prosecution. Now he was coming here. He had been there for 9 years. The Rome Statute started operating way back in 1998 was when Rome Statute was passed. It started operating way back in 2002. But there was no successful prosecution. So Ocampo wanted to turn Kenya into an example. Unfortunately, in it, he got carried away by the glory. You know, that faulty kind of glory. And that is why today we're here. We are back to where we started. We are back to 2008, when that power sharing was being negotiated probably by Kofi Annan. It is so sad. So
are we trying to say that we can blame Ocampo for how the cases fared in court?
Definitely. That is what I'm trying to say in so many words. That Ocampo did a very shoddy job. His job was so shoddy. But then again, this raises the matter of structural challenges within ICC. They need to establish an investigative arm. We do not need to see the chief prosecutors coming here for 2 days. Excuse me. You cannot even take a single crime case of somebody raping a lady somewhere in 3 days. You need forensics. It's a whole lot. What Ocampo did here was to come and see lions. What Bensouda did here was to come and wipe the tears of those people who are called IDPs. Actually, not investigative or anything close to that. And then they have this gentleman called Fadi Adlala, the guy who is their spokesman somewhere. You know, ICC in Kenya has something like a diplomatic status. The guy just talks and talks and talks like there's no tomorrow. I think soon he might even get high on words. Sure.
Well, we saw President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday highlight from his own perspective, he says that it is not that the ICC ruling that came about was not owed to witness interference and political interference. Is this the case?
What do you expect Uhuru to say? Did you expect Uhuru to come out and say that, okay, fine, we interfered with the case? He's the president, for crying out loud. And you know, there is something that puts Uhuru now to a corner. There were 5,000 PEV cases. None of them has been successfully prosecuted. Does it mean that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is on holiday? Or are they always on holiday so that they're just confirming? What happened to the Office of the Attorney General, the Office of his deputy, the Solicitor General, and all that? Where did these 5,000 cases go to? There were 5,000 cases of PEV. For instance, who banned Kiamba? Who raped women in Naivasha? And there's more. Come on. You can't be. You saw what happened in Kisumu, where that gentleman who was shot. The police said that he was not shot with a police gun. Yet video evidence, graphic evidence, argued to the contrary. So the president was just trying to be nice. He was just trying to image launder for Kenya. He was just trying to clean the Kenya's image. Surely he didn't expect the president to say that, okay, fine, you're interfering with the case. Till then, the question would arise. It's 4 years down the line. How many PEV cases have been prosecuted? Remember, there were 5,000 cases. 5,000, media.
So, Onyango, what I'm trying to get from you is, do you think, in your own view, and having looked at the issues and how they were unfolding, was there witness interference and political interference?
Definitely. The political interference part of it came to give it a political bypass. It was a political bypass strategy so that they could discredit ICC, which they did successfully. By the way, the Kenyan case, because before the Kenyan case, we have these cases in DRC. Thanks God, DRC is a failed state. It's a basket case. There was the case of Northern Uganda, where the actually elders came and constituted something called Matoput, where now they reverted to a similar Gashasha kind of idea. Then there was the ICTR, the one for Rwanda, right? So what happened in Kenya is, in as much as they were deploying the political bypass strategy, some crazy men came down here. And I'm afraid to say this because, like I told you before, that long time ago, the days when criminal lawyers were criminal lawyers, they would go to court, bring the big jargons, big arguments and win cases. Today they bribe witnesses, they bribe judges, and then they defeat these cases. So yes, the case was interfered in, and that is why the likes of Baraza are being dragged to the ICC. And I even wonder why Kenya is still wasting his time. They should have caught him long time ago, bangled him on a plane, and throw him to the ICC. So that, come on, somebody has to answer something. Somebody has to answer something.
But don't you think that will be a bit unfair, considering that he was not in the limelight recently? Suddenly, right now, Fatou Bensouda has fresh demands.
I would be a fool if I expected William Ruto to come out personally and do something. I think you know what I mean. Definitely, these people have their own proxies, and it's a channel. It is a very big network. And forget about, maybe these people are not involved directly. Maybe it's the supporters. Come on. It pains when you see your own brother, sister going to jail here in Kenya. What about going to be jailed in Netherlands? And remember, the worst part of it is that ICC has a jail agreement with Liberia, for example. So that these small people like William Ruto could have been sent to Liberia. You know what is happening in Liberia? There is Ebola there. So if I'm waking up to reality that ICC has jail agreements with Mali, with Liberia, with Sierra Leone, and I have been seeing all this, so meddling was there. Definitely meddling was there. If meddling was not there, then it raises the question, did people in Kiamba kill themselves? Did people in Naivasha kill themselves? Did people in Kisumu shoot themselves? Crime did happen. But how comes the perpetrators, the engineers, the architects, and the authors of these crimes can't be found? Surely. It's a great indictment on our criminal justice.
Well, okay, remember viewers, you're watching Politically Correct on TVC. Of course, with me in studio again is political analyst Onyango Ochieng, and we're discussing matters ICC right now. Remember, you can send in your views and comments. You can take part in this debate by sending your views and comments through the number 0774 455 111. That's 0774 455 111. At this point, we'll just take a short break, Onyango. We'll be back still on Matters ICC and, of course, much more. So don't go too far. We'll be back shortly.